picking up the Gemara from Lamed Ches Amud Aleph. John, get your Gemara open. Let's go. Lamed Ches Amud Aleph. Right. So start. Read. Right. So what's behind the Gemara? No, that's what the Gemara says. So why does the Gemara say that? Why does he make that deduction? Because he says what? No. What does Beis Hillel say in the Mishnah?
He said Mistam.
No. What does he say? No. Why is he? Where does he get a feel of Shabbos from? What? And what's the word after that? No. It doesn't say V'notlin Machzirin. What does he say? Well, what the heck does Af mean? Notlin Af Machzirin makes no sense in a literal translation. So you just read it as Notlin, comma Afilu Machzirin. That's why he didn't make this drush up from nowhere.
Yeah, you can even take, meaning even.
But why does it say?
Notlin.
I know, but why? Of course you can do Natila. Why does the Mishnah use the term Af?
You even do Machzir?
I know, so that's learning out. Af means Afilu. Oh, 1 second. Hold on. That's the problem is what does Afilu b'Shabbos mean?
What's the Chiddush of Nightlit if it's not on Shabbos?
Right.
Of course, I agree.
What is the Afilu b'Shabbos? Why didn't you say Machlekes b'Shabbos?
According to who?
Huh?
Okay, whatever.
How do you know there's Machlekes before Shabbos? That's all.
Okay, so what does Afilu b'Shabbos mean? Rashi. Machzirin Afilu b'Shabbos.
Beyond the on the day of Shabbos itself. Those same Plutaya Meshach Hashem. We're not arguing on Friday nights.
What do you mean by Friday night?
Shabbos.
What?
Shabbos night.
No, Erev Shabbos.
Oh, that's
Meshach Hashecha, meaning from previous to, right? The Hasam who the Sharu when he makes says his mutter. Shakalei. Alabiyom. Okay, ubat lahatmana, meaning the shehiyah is mevatel. Okay, so what's Rashi say? Rashi says you would have thought that Chazara is only mutter when?
On Shabbos night.
Shabbos night, right? So again, what's the case? I have a big pot full of food, right? I take it off the HaKirah. And what do? I serve it, right? And then what do I want to do afterwards? Put it back on. So you would think you can do that, right? Why? Because mucha milsa, it's clear in my action. And what do I want to do with the food? It's for when? Right, for the Shabbos day meal, right? Kamash Malan, no. That it's mutter whether it's Friday night or Shabbos day. Okay? And what does the Ran say? We don't have to read the Ran inside. The Ran's basically the first line of the Ran. What does the Ran say? The Ran says no. The Ran says you would think that Chazara, right? Chazara, when he says it's mutter, is only mutter when? On Erev Shabbos, right? I'm going to Kamash Malan that it's mutter both Erev Shabbos and Shabbos itself. Right? So what's each having in Maskana? What are they arguing about?
Did you want us to define what are they both disagreeing about?
They obviously have two very different versions of.
Right, but can we define why they don't?
Even though practically speaking, in the end, there's really no difference. Nafkamina-wise.
I'm saying, but could we?
No, there's not. Because of course he holds Friday night. Erev Shabbos isn't a problem. See, and Erev Shabbos is a given.
But he holds Erev Shabbos is a problem.
Right, but in the Maskana, it's not a problem.
No.
In the Maskana, according to the Ran, right? When Beis Hillel says it's mutter, the Maskana is on Erev Shabbos mutter and on Shabbos day it's mutter.
Yeah, but Beis Shammai holds the last one Shabbos.
We're only talking about Beis Hillel. There's no Beis Shammai. No one mentioned Beis Shammai. That's the last time I tell you Beis Shammai until I say so.
According to Rashi, Beis Shammai holds.
What you should ask is, what makes more sense? The Ran, right? I mean, although I'd like to see someone say Rashi, right? But in truth, the Ran makes a lot more sense, right? Because Rashi's introducing a variable, right? Of course, Kopp will say that. Rashi's introducing a variable that we've never seen before. What's the variable he's introducing?
Das.
Yeah, well, mucha milsa. That by me taking the food off Friday night, it's clear from that what? That I'm going to be using it, and I put it back on again, it's clear that I'm using it for Shabbos lunch. But if I take it off Shabbos lunch, what? Forget Shabbos for this for a second. But it's not that I'm going to eat it later on. So how do you answer the Ran? What's the Ran saying? The Ran I think is easy, but yeah. Remember the original way we approached Beis Hillel? The original way.
Yeah, cessation.
What? Oh, right. Which means what is Chazara according to Beis Hillel?
A continuation.
Right, so, right, okay, 1 second. So in that initial approach, do you remember that initial approach? You guys remember that? Initially, the way you want to learn the Machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel, well, that Tosfos is, in put in quotations, mess. The original way to approach it was very simple. That if you're going to say Chazara is a problem, it's only a problem because what is it?
It's a cessation.
Right, it's an interruption, and somehow it's intrinsically related to Shehiyah. Right? Well, same thing, right.
What?
Whatever. Okay, right. So that's how you originally. Should be quiet. That's how we originally learned. We originally learned what? We originally learned that what is Chazara? Initially, the way we learned, we said Chazara is what? And it's really the problem with Chazara is really it's a type of shehiyah. That's the way we originally learned. Right? Remember that? So I want to take that. I use that approach.
Non-problem.
What?
Non-problem is Chazara.
Well, 1 second. So what's the Havmina here? The Havmina is telling you what?
The Havamina is that Shehiyah never ends until Shabbos.
Well, if Chazara is really linked to Shehiyah, right? Then when would Chazara be mutter?
Why wouldn't it be?
When would it be mutter in the Havmina? Obvious. Erev Shabbos. Why? Because it's only exactly. So in other words, right. Whereas the Havmina would say very simple. The Havmina would say is if you hold that Chazara is really a type of Shehiyah, so to speak. It's a modification of Shehiyah.
Isn't that Beishamai though?
No, that's Beis Hillel. No, it's not. No. I know, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's looking from a different lens. You can't worry about Beis Shammai. Just let me finish the whole thing, then you can go back and ask. I know what's bothering you. Okay. So Beis Hillel. So I'm saying in the Havmina, what's the Havmina saying? It's saying that when I do Shehiyah, okay, and then I do Chazara afterwards. What is Chazara? What's Chazara? So Chazara is just another attempt at Shehiyah. So when is Chazara allowed? Chazara is only allowed when Shehiyah is allowed. And when is that mutter? Erev Shabbos. So the Ram makes a lot of sense. Kamash one that what?
It's not a cessation, it's a continuation.
Just like we said before. In other words, there's never, when you take the food off, you're never stopping the Shehiyah process. So when I put it back on, all I'm doing is continuing it. So what the Ran is doing, in my opinion, forget the mix and match for a second. What the Ran's doing is, he's justifying our initial approach, but we're just adding in this one modifier of a Havmina. Okay, that when you say Chazara is mutter, in both situations it's saying Chazara is related to Shehiyah. But when it's mutter, it's only mutter when Shehiyah is mutter. Kamash Milan, that since Chazara is simply, what am I doing when I take the food off? I'm just interrupting the Shehiyah process. I haven't stopped it, so therefore Chazara will be mutter on Shabbos also. Okay, that's the easy side. Okay, no big chiddush there.
So what did Beishamai hold?
Be careful. Rashi's words are, Rashi's saying that Aval b'yom lo muchach, right? It's not clear in his action of Chazara that he wants to use this food for later on. Rashi's got a very funny idea. He's saying it's not a chana. It's not a chana. Rashi's saying that, and if I return the food to the HaKirah Friday night, it's clear from my action of Chazara that I want that food for Shabbos lunch. Okay, but when I put it back on Shabbos lunch, it's not clear from that, or there's nothing in my action that tells me I want the food for later.
So why?
I agree with what Avi's saying, but it's going to add one more extra point. Okay? We're going to get to Maskana in a second. Hold on, let's just do the Havmina. So what's Rashi's Havmina? Let's want to do the Havmina first. What's Rashi's Havmina? He's saying that, he's saying like this, like basically what Avi's saying. In other words, like this. In other words, the idea of Shehiyah is what? What are you doing when you do Shehiyah? You're preparing food for Shabbos. For Shabbos, okay? In the very Shehiyah itself exists what? The property of normative derech achila. Okay, in other words, there's an idea of normative derech achila. And normally speaking, what does a person do? Again, that's what they would cook back then. What does a person do? You'll see why in halacha l'maaseh it doesn't work today like that. What does a person normally do? If you have one pot of food, that's the normal derech achila, right?
I was assuming there was going to be 2 pots of food.
Then you're right. By the way, you had one pot of food. So what he's saying is that, no, but you have to understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to say that you would incorporate the normative derech. There is a halachic reality list that comes out in Psak, but not like this though. Let me just finish. Let me just finish. There's an idea of a normative derech achila that's contained within the Ma'aseh Shehiyah itself. So when I put the food on the HaKirah on Friday, what am I now doing? I'm saying that this food, it's not that I'm not preparing. See, we look at it as preparing for Friday night meal and Shabbos meal separately. You're preparing for Shabbos achila. That's what the Shehiyah does. It's preparing for Shabbos achila. Now, in my Shabbos achila, what do I know? I know that when I take the food out Friday night, what am I going to normally do? Return it, right? For Shabbos lunch. But that's called normative derech achila, and that's built into the very Ma'aseh Shehiyah itself. Hold on. When you do, it's not that we're not saying there's a Ma'aseh Shehiyah, and in the Ma'aseh Shehiyah, the derech achila is expressed in it. Rather, I would say that when you do an action of Shehiyah, what happens? The food now has the quality of Shehiyah in it. Okay, so therefore, just don't say anything yet. So in other words, it's Shehiyah food. This food is Shehiyah, right? So if that's the case, 1 second. Well, I'll get to this question again. But that's the first step I would say in Rashi's Maskana. Rashi's saying when I do Shehiyah, When I do shahiyah on my chicken, what do I have in front of me now? Shahiyah food, right? But then if that's the case, then there's no such thing as chazara. But 1 second.
You can never, with an action, you
But if that's the case, then chazara is non-existent at all. There's no such thing as chazara, right? But then Mati's question is a good question. But why do you have to have an oven that's garf and katan? Here's the key.
because no.
Second, so even though, listen to this, even though the food itself, okay, maybe shahiyah food, right? But my action of returning is a one maxi kibishal. You understand? But it's true that food itself, I can't change the property of the food, right? You have to think more abstractly here. Notice, the food could be hot, the food could be brown, and the food could be shahiyah. Shahiyah means it went through the heating up process Erev Shabbos, through Shabbos itself, right? So when I take the food off and I put it back on, it's not that I've changed the properties of the food, but I've done a ma'aseh that's maxi kibishal. That's Rashi's chiddush. Okay?